Kintsugi Life Coaching. My name is Elizabeth Horleman. As we continue to look at the various aspects of a narcissistic person, today I want us to look at the circle of violence. Have you heard of the circle of violence? Well, most people who live in violent relationships tend to develop strategies on how to overcome their day safety without being beaten, shouted on, or humiliated. They may or may not have recognized that they are living in a relationship which is dominated by a circle of violence. This circle of violence is the repetitive nature of the perpetrator's action, which always stops the victims from living an abusive relationship. And according to Dr. Leonore Walker, who developed the circle of violence theory in 1979, in which he describes that there are three phases in abusive relationship, which leads to this, what he called the circle of violence. In phase 1, he talks about the tension phase. This is the phase in which things happen and you do not understand how it happened. It's all out of the blue. Apparently, your perpetrator or the abuser has been experiencing some sort of attention. Something has annoyed him or something has annoyed her and you are not aware. And out of the blue, you are going to experience the wrath of this outbreak. This is an extremely frightening phase because this is the abuse phase. This is the phase in which you have got no clue what you have done wrong, and yet somebody is terribly upset. And then we have the phase 2, which is the acute explosion phase. Now this is where the person loses their temper. They get violent. They start to shout, terrorize you, abuses, humiliation, and also physical abuse. This is when the pressure which the person has been experiencing in phase 1 really explodes. When things begin to settle, and that is phase 3, according to Dr. Walker, this is the closing phase or the honeymoon stage, as I would call it. I am sorry. I did not mean to hurt you. Somebody else had annoyed me, and unfortunately, you have to experience the wrath. This is the remorse phase. They are simply remorseful, ashamed of what they have done. They become withdrawn and they try to also justify the actions to themselves and to others. The next thing that comes is this over-loving, making promises never to be violent again. In a few days, things seem to be very, very good. It's your honeymoon phase again. But like the circle of violence has proved, when you go back to your normal daily life, you are going to experience yet again the phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3. And this is, especially the honeymoon phase, is there always to make sure that you do not leave, that you do not come to the decision of putting a distance between you and the abuser. What happens actually in phase 3 is also called the denial. And the denial is for both of you. You are denying that you need to take some action to separate yourselves, or to just give yourselves a break and to review exactly where is this relationship taking you. And if you are one of those people living in this denial, then you are living actually in the vicious circle of violence, of domestic violence. I will put a link onto my previous post where you can find information where to get help, how to get help. But definitely, if you have reached to the point where you are reading my post, then you may also have reached the point where you want to take action. And maybe you should take action. Wish you all the best. That's all for today. Kintsugi Life Coaching checking out.